welcome to Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment in Canada, around the world. My name is Tahir Rechie. I'm your host. Tonight, our topic is liberal platform home ownership strategy. And today, I have a very special guest, Rechie Valdez. She is the candidate, liberal candidate from Streetsville, which is my riding. So I have invited her to come and join and talk about a Liberal Party platform on homeowner strategy. So welcome. Anything you want to introduce yourself a little bit? Go ahead.
Well, thank you so much for having me and for being here. Again, I'm Rechie Valdez, the Liberal candidate for Mississauga, Streetsville. I'm so excited to be here today.
Fantastic. You know, we have, as you know, this platform that we start talking about home strategy. Your Liberal leader, Justin Trudeau, has given out some kind of strategy about future plan if they're re-elected. So we want to talk about a few things with you, and can you explain us what it means for that? Sure. The first issue is that a promise to double tax credit if they are re-elected. Right. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, well, overall, I just want to say that this whole platform with housing is really exciting because it's all about having a home for everyone. And it's truly unlocking that home ownership for the middle class. So that's really huge. Now, with regards to doubling the tax credit, we have the first-time home buyers tax credit. We're going to be doubling that from $5,000 to $10,000, which is pretty substantial because I remember when I was in those shoes, when I purchased my first home, that would have, saved me so much money.
Yeah, they're also giving a first-time home buyer withdraw tax-free amount of $40,000. Age of 40 up to 40 and 40,000.
Yeah, this is amazing. So if you are a Canadian up to the age of 40, you can save $40,000 and withdraw and put that towards your first home.
Yes.
And that's tax-free, which is incredible.
Yeah, that's really a good news because it creates a lot of opportunity for the first home buyer.
Absolutely.
And it helps them in terms of putting more saving toward the buying the ownership, because the strategy is to get more and more people into the houses.
That's correct.
The other thing that you already mentioned, answered my second question already, that the government is also first-time home buyer tax increasing from 5 to 10,000, and I mentioned that in my last episode. The other issue is when you are buying a property and you are a first-time home buyer, and they have, because they cannot provide 20% conventional mortgage, up to or to that 5% to up to less than 20%, they have to Canadian Mortgage Housing Corporation.
Right.
And they have to pay insurance for arranging this bank. Absolutely. So do you have that announcement that Mr. Trudeau has mentioned about it?
Absolutely. We're going to have a reduction of 25% of CMHC's mortgage insurance rate, which in some cases can save you upwards of about $6,100 of savings right there and then. Yeah,
that's remarkable because it helped the buyer to in the closing the property and also reduce this and make it more affordable. They're also proposing $1 billion rent to own. Can you tell us a little bit what that is?
So basically, like, imagine being able to rent, and if you're stuck renting over and over again, now you'll be able to put the money that you normally rent and towards your home ownership in the end. So it's a phenomenal program.
Yeah, there are some programs available privately, and they are funded through the private sector, and they are expensive in terms of a home buyer. If the federal government start a program and they create some kind of funding for about $1 billion throughout Canada, and hopefully it will be helpful to the public to own the house. They also, the Trudeau has promised to build or preserve or repair 1.4 million homes Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the investment is $1.4 million towards new homes over the
No, the
course.
1.4 million homes.
That's right,
Yeah.
1.4 million homes.
Yes.
Which is phenomenal. And I mean, like, what we did in the past was we put 2 million Canadians in homes, which effectively took 700,000 children and kept them out of poverty.
Yeah.
So this is all related to what we've done in the past, and now we're here.
So we're hoping that there will be some kind of announcement from from them if they are elected,
For sure.
and hope that you are become my MP, because I really like the youth professional with energy and enthusiasm to help and serve fellow citizens.
Yes, for
And
sure.
in Streetsville, where you are from, there's a lot of diverse community, and I'm sure you're reaching out because
Yes.
the first time you came into the politics. And can you tell us a little bit about background and contribution that you have done, so we continue our conversation?
For sure. I mean, like, I've just been so fortunate as I've been knocking on doors, visiting different places within Streetsville. It's just a phenomenal, diverse community and culture. I'm just really proud to be here, and as a proud Filipina myself, like, just to be able to represent and be the voice of this community is a wonderful experience.
You did some philanthropy, the activity of serving the community, and can you tell us, because this is very important,
Sure.
that people know that you have volunteered, you have done the community service in various. Can you tell our viewers who are especially living in Streetsville riding, where she is the candidate for the Liberal Party?
I've definitely done a lot of volunteer experience. One in particular with corporate banking, I was a part of the Diversity Inclusion Council, and I helped also support women in the workforce to ensure and encourage and be advocates for women. Also with a not-for-profit that I had in the past, it's just enabling through my love and passions for basketball to create tournaments.
Yeah, I saw one of those videos. Yeah,
I love basketball.
Yeah.
To just raise funds for Sick Kids Foundation, and that's been just a phenomenal experience. So I'm constantly giving back. I love to connect communities, not just within Canada, but North America and globally as well.
Yeah, this is another thank you very much for sharing, because it's very important, especially with such a short time for the campaign and being new in the area and trying to catch up with things. The one thing that caught my eyes was a re-election a Liberal government announcement that they will create a $4 billion funds, cash for the cities. And to tap on if they can help create middle-class homes. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, how this $4 billion city is available and how this money is coming in? Tell us generally what these plans are.
Sure. I think one of the things that's really exciting is if you're a first-time home buyer, sometimes you'll experience some hardships with construction. So even putting investments to ensure that we're accelerating, because there's a lot of hiccups that you encounter with construction. Variances are one of them. So that money will go to expedite the process of approving those variances with the city, speeding and expediting the process. That alone will just speed up the process of construction so that we can get more homeowners into homes.
Yeah, wonderful, because I look at this program and the speech the Liberal Party leader, Mr. Trudeau, mentioned that the pool that they're going to create $4 billion, because there are lots of people, speculators, they own private lands, and they're going to crack down on that, and also to make thousands of home available, and they're going to have some buildings available. They are government buildings and not being used. They're going to try to convert them into housing.
Yeah.
Can you share a little bit something on your thought about it?
For sure. I think one of the opportunities is leveraging existing infrastructures and buildings that are not being used and turning and converting those into homes. Like, that's a creative way of using spaces and using that for homes.
Yeah, that's amazing. They are also promising, if they are re-elected, the condition is $2.7 billion for 4 years to build, repair, or more affordable homes for the party. That's a very good. These are additional things, the strategy they are planning to do it, and multi-generational home renovation tax credit. So that's a good news for everyone, and how they're going to do it. I'm hoping that they will be arranging sort of funds in a way that we are able to not only help people who are in need of a house, and also to make sure they generate revenue.
Exactly.
To make sure that everything is not just coming from from the citizen paying taxes and creating that, because we are concerned. Now, the other important issue that was a mention in this particular was the price transparency.
Right.
As you know, that right now there is shortage of houses.
Yeah, for sure.
There's supply. And our real estate is generate about 35-40% of the revenue for Canada. Employment, taxes, federal, provincial, whatever the taxes are. And we have construction companies, everybody's involved in the industry. So there's employment and all that stuff. So he mentioned about creating more transparency and abusive. Can you tell us, because there's a bidding war going on, this is a blind bidding and everybody talk about it.
Yes.
Can you share some ideas about what he has in his mind in terms of your leader?
Yeah, this is really critical. So it's having a home buyer's bill of rights that will really create open transparency and fairness when it comes to the process of purchasing a home. Right now, I mean, like I've heard it so many times, like many people complain about the process. Oh, I didn't know about these fees. I didn't know about the house prices in the past. Oh, I can't get a home inspection done. So it's really putting in place the Bill of Rights to protect home buyers and ensuring that it just becomes easier and more transparent to understand.
Yeah, this is where when we have a bidding war, we have multiple offers. There are so many disappointed buyers. Absolutely. Because there is a issue is short supply.
Right.
We, as a member of Ontario Real Estate Association and Canadian Real Estate Association, the sentiment of the professional is if you create a more restriction or come out to a auction type of business, it will not help the current situation. The biggest issue is supply of housing. That means the builders should be optimized, the process of getting approval should be optimized, so they are able to create more available. There are also mortgage rules and other issues that we have always debate on our social media. They need to be more stricter in terms of not the stress test. It is more who can qualify and they have the verifiable income. There was a recent debate on my forum was, should we allow the lender to talk to CRA to verify the income, because people are sometimes giving a false or fake T4s and notice of assessment to the lender. So do you think that is why he's thinking about this bidding war as a one step and maybe looking at other option as well?
I think right now it's all about being fair and transparent.
Yeah.
That's really important. And then with especially with house flipping, I'm sure you hear about this often.
Yes.
I think we'll be introducing an anti-flipping tax. That's huge, because when you're flipping a home, you don't want that to continue to happen. I think that's really big. And then even we're trying to reinforce a 2-year ban on foreign.
That's next was a question.
Yeah, the foreign buyers. So I mean, there's all these things we're trying to do to help buyers.
Yeah. No, this is very important. Is that I am hoping that if your party is elected, they will consult with the Canadian Real Estate Association and Ontario Real Estate Association, especially in Ontario level, because there are some issues in terms of jurisdiction. Federally, there are issues that they can handle with it, but there are some Ontario or provincial issues, jurisdiction issues, and the municipalities. I'm sure there will be consultation on those issues at that case.
So I think it's really about ensuring that we work together provincially and federally to make the right decisions and collaborate with each other to ensure that whatever we put in place is the right decision for our Canadians.
Viewers, as you know, as a member of Canadian Real Estate Association and licensed real estate broker record for City Realty Brokerage, we have a regulator in the province of Ontario, because we're located in Ontario. And Real Estate Council of Ontario is RECO. They are the regulator. They control education, registration, compliance, and consumer protection program. So they are the watchdog, and they will issue directives, guidance, and take action if someone violate violate any REBA, Real Estate Business Broker Act guidelines and act. So we're going to take a short break and we continue our conversation. We'll come back to Realty Coffee Talk after a short break. Thank you.
पूरे ओंटारियो में लाखों लोग अपनी कोविड-19 की वैक्सीन हासिल कर चुके हैं। हेल्थ कनाडा की मंजूरशुदा तमाम वैक्सीन महफूज और अस्पतालों, डॉक्टर्स के दफातर, फार्मेसीज और अवामी वैक्सीनेशन के मुकामात पर हासिल हैं। अपना किरदार अदा करें, अपनी वैक्सीन हासिल करें। 300 जुबानों में मदद के लिए ontario.ca/book वैक्सीन पर जाएं या 1888-999-6488 पर कॉल करें।
पाकिस्तान का सबसे मशहूर एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग ग्रेन मुगल बासमती राइस अवेलेबल इन बोथ व्हाइट एंड सेला। होम डिलीवरी इज अवेलेबल सब्जेक्ट टू मिनिमम ऑर्डर एंड रेडियस, आल्सो अवेलेबल एट योर नेबरहुड फ्रेश को। मजीद मालूमात के लिए आज ही कांटेक्ट करें 5146630480 पर या ऑर्डर करें हमारे फेसबुक से। बनाए ये रमजान और भी खास मुगल बासमती के साथ, द प्रीमियम चॉइस फॉर प्रीमियम टेस्ट। 2020 का लाजवाब ऑफर, जहां हम 0% फाइनेंसिंग पर आपकी मनपसंद कार दे रहे हैं, फ्री विंटर टायर्स, और साथ ही हम मुफ्त ऑयल चेंज भी दे रहे हैं, वो भी उम्र भर के लिए। अभी आएं और इस लाजवाब ऑफर का लुत्फ लें। जल्दी करें, आपका खुशामदीद हमारे आउटलेट में, जो कि 60 क्वींस प्लेट ड्राइव एट इंटरसेक्शन क्लोज टू हाईवे 27 एंड रेक्सडेल अपोजिट टू वुडबाइन रेस ट्रैक। जल्द से जल्द इस ऑफर का लुत्फ लें। आज ही कॉल करें सुनील अग्रवाल को 647-703-0218। देखिए खेल की आवाज हर पीर शाम 7 बजे। आज की बात समीना जबीन के साथ हर मंगल रात 8 बजे। इस्लाम इन मॉडर्न टाइम हर मंगल और जुमा शाम 6 बजे। कैनेडियन मोज़ेक हर बुध रात 8 बजे। रियलिटी कॉफी टॉक हर जुमेरात शाम 7 बजे। टुनाइट टॉक हर जुमा शाम 7 बजे। देखिए तकरार, कीजिए तकरार समीना जबीन के साथ हर रोज रात 9 बजे और रिपीट सुबह 9 बजे। आप देख रहे हैं आवाज एंटरटेनमेंट, आवाज आपकी, चैनल हमारा, जुड़िए हमसे।
डिक्सी और एग्लिंटन के इंटरसेक्शन पे तशरीफ लाइए ज़ौक़ रेस्टोरेंट। जायकेदार लजीज खानों का मरकज, पाकिस्तानी, इंडियन और हक्का चाइनीज। आप हमसे लाइव बारबेक्यू और कैटरिंग के लिए राब्ता कर सकते हैं। राब्ते के लिए हमारा नंबर 9056257786।
ज़ौक़ रेस्टोरेंट, ज़ौक़ वालों के लिए।
डिक्सी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स और अप्लायंसेस पिछले 16 सालों से खरीदारों की खिदमत कर रहे हैं। हम लगातार 4 सालों से खरीदारों की पहली पसंद बने रहने का अवार्ड हासिल कर चुके हैं। हम किचनर्स, बॉश, वर्लपूल, एलजी, सैमसंग और जनरल इलेक्ट्रिक के ऑथराइज्ड डीलर हैं। 5 स्टार खिदमत का लुत्फ लें। हम आप सभी को टीवी सबसे ज्यादा रियायती दामों पर देने की गारंटी देते हैं। www.dixieelectronics.ca हमारी वेबसाइट पर जाएं या अभी कॉल करें 9056255900। सभी बहुत ही मुनासिब कीमत पर दस्तयाब हैं, जो आप बाआसानी से ले सकते हैं। एट डिक्सी वी सेल क्वालिटी एंड डिलीवर कॉन्फिडेंस।
Love that chicken from Popeyes. Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Good evening and welcome to Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment in Canada, around the world. My name is Tahir Iqra. I'm a broker of record for City Realty Brokerage and the host. I'm very pleased to announce that our Honorable Ms. Iqra Khalid, a former two-time Member of Parliament from Mississauga, Erin Mills, is here on the telephone. So I'm going to say welcome. Iqra, how are you today?
I am very well. Thank you so much, Tahir Bhai, for not only having me on the show today, but for all of your advocacy with respect to housing over these past 6 years that I've known you.
Thank you very much. I am so delighted that you are able to join us because I admire you. You have the passion, commitment, and willingness and giving that vision and passion to your helping your citizen in across Canada, particularly your Erin Mills and Mississauga. So can you tell us, we are debating about the Liberal Party platform, a home ownership strategy. Our Liberal leader, Justin Trudeau, former Prime Minister, has mentioned few things about it. So can you share us about those strategy?
Absolutely. So, Tahir Bhai, this strategy on housing is two things. First and foremost, it's a continuation of what we're trying to really provide for Canadians across the country, and that is affordable, quality housing, which we think that everybody has a right to in Canada. So, building on the National Housing Strategy, which we implemented in 2015, which, as you know, Tahir Bhai, we've talked about this many times.
Yes.
It's a 10-year plan to invest over $72 billion to not only build supply and to make housing affordable, but it's also to address chronic homelessness, which we also here see in our city and in our country. We have introduced legislation recognizing the right to Canadians to access adequate housing. We've helped more than 2 million Canadians find places to call home through either new buildings or to repairs and renovations and rental subsidies, and so on and so forth. And now what we're trying to do, and based on the feedback that we've heard from Canadians, is really two things. We see that the affordability of houses is going through the roof, and people are just not able to buy homes in cities like Mississauga. So we're tackling this by firstly making sure that there's more housing stock, by committing to building 1.4 million new homes across the country, which is something that a lot of Canadians have asked for. We'll do this by $4 billion in a new housing accelerator fund. This will grow the annual housing supply in the country's largest cities, like Mississauga, we're the 6th largest, and it creates about 100,000 new middle-class homes by the year 2024, 2025. And then we want to also permanently increase funding to the National Housing Co-Investment Fund by a total of $2.7 billion over 4 years, which is double than its current allocation. And again, this will help builders to acquire land and buildings, to not only build more units, but also to preserve more units, so on and so forth, to make sure that we're increasing the stock of housing. The second thing is to make housing more affordable. And the couple of things that we're doing, which the program that I'm really excited about, and I'm really hoping that we'll implement this, is the rent-to-own program.
Yes.
Which would help renters go on the path towards home ownership while renting. So this program is basically designed on three principles. One, the landlord has to commit charging a renter a lower than market rate to help Canadians build up the savings for a down payment. The landlord has to commit to ownership in a 5-year term or less. And the last thing is proper safeguards that have to be in place to protect the future homeowner as well. So, so that's one thing. The second is to create a stream for current renters and landlords to immediately enter into those agreements right away. those rent to own, and then we want to commit $1 billion in loans and grants to develop and scale up these rent to own projects with private and not-for-profit and co-op partners as well. We're also hoping to make housing costs and the purchase of housing to be more affordable, obviously, especially for young people. So there's this really cool thing that's in our platform, and it's the tax-free first home savings account.
Yes.
I'm sure you've read on this. This will allow Canadians under the age of 40
Yeah.
to save up to $40,000 towards their first home, and then to withdraw it, that this $40,000 tax-free, and put it towards their first home purchase with no requirement to repay it, which
Yeah.
I think is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, Rechie has mentioned that in our conversation.
Yeah. So, and then the last thing which I will mention, which I find to be really, really cool, is our Bill of Rights for home buyers.
Yeah.
Banning blind bidding, establishing a legal right to a home inspection for buyers, making sure that there's total transparency on the history and of recent home sale prices and on title searches, requiring real estate agents to disclose when they're involved in both sides of a potential sale to protect the buyer and the seller in that instance. And then to ensure that banks and lenders are offering a mortgage deferral for up to 6 months in the case of, koi hadsa in your life, a life event like a job loss or other big thing that could happen. And then also requiring mortgage lenders to act in the best interest of the buyer so that they're fully informed of a full range of choices that a buyer may have at their disposal, including the first-time home buyers incentive, which we've talked about before as well. So that's kind of a breakdown of what we're trying to do with the housing. The last thing I'll mention, which I think is also very necessary, especially even if it's for a temporary time period, it is to ban foreigners from buying Canadian homes. I think that will really help, increase the stock and drive down the prices by making sure that only Canadians and permanent residents, the people that are going to be living in Canadian homes, are the ones that are purchasing it, which is a very, very important thing.
Yeah, Ms. Iqra, the issue is foreign buyers are about, based on the data available to the Canadian Real Estate Association and Ontario Real Estate Association, is about less than 2 to 5% of the total transactions. So it's not a very significant, but in discouraging foreign buyers to buy the property may send a wrong message for foreign investment in Canada in the long term. What do you think of that?
Well, we take the example of Vancouver, right?
Yeah.
Where look at the housing prices in Vancouver, compare the number of foreign buyers in Vancouver, and just locally here in Mississauga, Erin Mills as well. These houses, whether they're few in number or many in number, they sit empty. Nobody lives in them. They're not used, as people are away, and they're just sitting there, which I think is quite useless in an area like Mississauga, Erin Mills, owned by people that are not living in our country, not really contributing to our taxes, to our building and development of our country. I think if they don't need the house at that point, they should. We as Canadians should prioritize those that really need that housing, that need the space to live, to be able to have access to it. Vancouver, I think, is a good example of why this is necessary. This type of law was implemented there as well, and I'm seeing some pretty good results. What do you think?
Yeah, right now we have after Vancouver, Ontario did a 15% buyer speculation tax. Okay, over the period of time, it didn't affect it because look at the COVID. The prices had jumped so high in COVID, which because of short of supply. Did any of your Liberal Party platform has any idea? I'm going to ask Rechie as well to share something about how to increase the volume and making life easy for the builders, the municipalities to expedite the process so they produce more property. Also, legislation to make sure the information when it's submitted to the lenders for arranging financing is accurate. To to avoid any fabrication or fraudulent documentation to get the mortgage. There are lots of speculation about that. Lots of people are not qualifying it, but they are having a multi-million-dollar house. They don't pay taxes. How can we control that? Do you think that your party will have some kind of consultation with people, professionals like myself or other people that their industry?
Absolutely. I mean, we are the party that has had the most number of consultations over our 6 years of government than any other government. So we always rely on experts like yourself, Tahir. And I will just say that in our platform, on the other piece that you were talking about, we really do understand like the overly complex, the backlogged and under-resourced municipal zoning and permitting systems. And they are, you're absolutely right, slowing down and sometimes deterring builders from building in certain cities as well.
Correct.
So we are creating, like I mentioned, the Housing Accelerator Fund, which will help builders tackle these issues. We do want to help with speeding up the time that it takes to build more homes, and this we want to do by investing in e-permitting technology, so that everything can be done online to help communities really streamline that planning process. And we've worked with municipalities in the past, like the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, and we want to keep on doing that, specifically to identify vacant or underused property in any city that should be converted to housing on the principal use of it, or for the city to then lose it.
Yeah.
So really taking a deep dive into not only creating more stock, but looking at the inefficiencies of why builders are not building as fast as they can, and then providing support in that area. I think it's really going to help us to get to that 1.4 million new builds that we want to have in the country.
So this is a very interesting, and I'm very grateful that you did join us, because anti-flipping tax, which Rechie mentioned also,
yeah.
And also I am very familiar with the home rent-to-own strategy. I think several years ago, I developed some system that I can share with people if they need some help. And idea again is our Real Estate Association Ontario, particularly because I'm a member of Ontario, they are against this auction, bidding process as compared to what it is, because Ontario government. We are regulated in the province of Ontario. Real Estate Council of Ontario has a very strict guidelines, and we have a Real Estate Business Broker Act which provide us all the guidelines dealing with the bidding war, how to keep the information confidential, full disclosure. These are maybe some registrant who did not follow the guidelines and law, and they could be subject to disciplinary action by Real Estate Council. But overall, it doesn't fit with the process that we already over-regulated in the province of Ontario. So I would suggest that if opportunity come and you all are elected, I wish to see you again on your third term, because you're a brilliant mind and visionary and passionate about serving our fellow citizens. So this will be amazing, but then we will ask you to consult with professionals who are specialized in real estate, mortgage, because a multi-pronged strategy in terms of come up with this difficulty and short supply of a home.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And Tahir, one thing I will mention is, we're finding more and more that kids are moving back in with their parents, and we're finding multi-generational homes, where the grandparents live with their kids and their grandkids. So one really cool thing, which I can start by, I live in a multi-generational home as well.
Same as me.
So we're offering a home renovation tax credit, which will help families to claim a tax credit of up to $50,000 to renovate and then construct their house so that they could, be comfortable in that multi-generational home. I think that's really thinking about cities like Mississauga, like Brampton, because a lot of us, are multi-generational homes over here. I think this is going to be a good help for those families.
Just for the disclosure, my viewers, I'm a liberal. I follow liberal ideology, so and I support Liberal Party. I want to make sure that it's transparent and disclosed to all of you. Iqra, MP Iqra was our member of parliament for twice, Errol Center, and now we have Rechie Valdez. She is going to be representing my riding where I live in Streetsville in Mississauga. They are both young, professional, energetic, visionary, and passionate to help fellow citizens. So if you have any question and you want to reach out to them, and we're going to continue our dialogue, please connect with them, visit their riding or their website, and you will find them and talk to them, because very important. This is a very important topic because of shortage of supply, and I think this is the first time, in my opinion, that some parties have exposed their platform in terms of national strategy on housing. Correct, Iqra? Rechie, what do you think?
No, we ran on this in 2015, where in our platform we committed to creating that national housing strategy.
Yeah.
And now we're just really building on it. And one thing I'll just contrast, Tahir Bhai, is in the conservative platform, yes, there is mention of housing, but it's not housing for everyone. There's a significant and very noticeable lack of equality. In fact, to the point where there's no mention of helping people that are, couch surfing or, on the brink of homelessness or are actually homeless. There's no support for them, and I think that we as Canadians need to make sure that everybody has that right to safe, affordable housing in our country.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time and sharing your information about the Liberal Party platform for home ownership. We really appreciate your time. Because
thank you, Tahir Bhai.
Thank you very much. We're going to continue our conversation. We're going to take a short break and we'll come back to you. We'll continue our conversation on Awaz Entertainment in Canada, around the world.
पूरे ओंटारियो में लाखों लोगों ने अपना कोविड-19 टीका लगवाया है। स्वास्थ्य कनाडा द्वारा अनुमोदित सभी टीके सुरक्षित हैं और अस्पतालों, डॉक्टरों के कार्यालयों, फार्मेसियों और सामूहिक टीकाकरण स्थलों में उपलब्ध हैं। अपनी भूमिका निभाएं, अपना टीका लगवाएं। वेबसाइट ontario.ca/book vaccine पर जाएं या 300 भाषाओं में सहायता के लिए 1-888-999-6488 पर कॉल करें।
पाकिस्तान का सबसे मशहूर एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग ग्रेन मुगल बासमती राइस अवेलेबल इन बोथ व्हाइट एंड सिला। होम डिलीवरी इज अवेलेबल सब्जेक्ट टू मिनिमम ऑर्डर एंड रेडियस। ऑल्सो अवेलेबल एट योर नेबरहुड फ्रेश को। मजीद मालूमात के लिए आज ही कॉन्टैक्ट करें 5146630480 पर या ऑर्डर करें हमारे फेसबुक से। बनाए ये रमजान और भी खास मुगल बासमती के साथ, द प्रीमियम चॉइस फॉर प्रीमियम टेस्ट। देखिए खेल की आवाज हर पीर शाम 7 बजे। आज की बात समीना जबीन के साथ हर मंगल रात 8 बजे। इस्लाम इन मॉडर्न टाइम हर मंगल और जुमा शाम 6 बजे। कैनेडियन मोज़ेक हर बुध रात 8 बजे। रियलिटी कॉफी टॉक हर जुमेरात शाम 7 बजे। टुनाइट टॉक हर जुमा शाम 7 बजे। देखिए तकरार, कीजिए तकरार समीना जबीन के साथ हर रोज रात 9 बजे और रिपीट सुबह 9 बजे। आप देख रहे हैं आवाज एंटरटेनमेंट, आवाज आपकी, चैनल हमारा, जुड़िए हमसे। GTA का सबसे ज्यादा देखा जाने वाला टीवी चैनल आवाज एंटरटेनमेंट के साथ मिलकर बनाए आपके बिजनेस को और भी बेहतर। हम आपके कंपनी या बिजनेस को एक अनोखे अंदाज में पेश करेंगे जिससे आपके बिजनेस में और ज्यादा इजाफा होगा। हमारे फेसबुक, यूट्यूब और वेबसाइट को रोजाना लाखों लोग देखते हैं। हमारे पास हर किसी के एडवर्टाइजमेंट की जरूरत के हिसाब से पैकेज अवेलेबल हैं। आज ही 416-786-9809 पर कॉल करें और अपना एडवर्टाइजमेंट बुक कराएं। आवाज इंटरटेनमेंट, आवाज आपकी, चैनल हमारा, जुड़िए हमसे।
And welcome to Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment in Canada around the world. We just finished our conversation with Iqra Khalid. She's a two-time member of parliament from Mississauga, Erin Mills, and she gave us quite a bit update, what we shared with Rechie, and we talk about all the issues that we have in housing, why they developed this strategy. So Rechie Valdez, we're going to continue our conversation that we talked about it before. Liberal, as compared to what Liberal Party has programmed, and I think the Conservative either copy your idea or they're also building a $1 million houses.
Yeah, their commitment is the Conservatives are committing $1 million in 3 years, and the NDP government is committing $500,000 in 10 years.
Yeah.
So we are definitely investing a lot more, as you can see, not just money, but we're putting in place all the right things to ensure we're protecting our home buyers.
As compared to what I have seen for the Conservative and Liberal platform, your leader has really done a very detailed and lots of areas, as Iqra has mentioned as well. And so this is remarkable that it's so detailed. And my only concern is that I'm hoping that if you are elected as a member of parliament, we're going to be helping you and to make sure that you invite professional. Then he's developing his strategy to do these things. You need to hire. We have a Canadian Real Association that federally represent 135,000 members.
Right.
We have Ontario Real Estate Association that has almost 93,000. So we have a complete organization that help and provide feedback. And you can also individually invite people like me or other people who are qualified that can guide them to make sure whatever strategy they're doing is done correctly. Now the Conservative also mentioned that they want to moratorium 2 years, so similar to yours. So I don't know who did first, but they have the moratorium. But one thing they mentioned differently was that they want to have a mortgage payable like 10 years instead of like we have up to 5 years right now. 5 years. That's one of their difference. So what do you think after listening to Iqra and what do you think that how confident you are about how your leader has proposed these changes and things are coming and you feel that your constituents in your riding and they feel comfortable that if they want to buy a home, there will be a program available for them?
Yeah, it's a great question. Ever since I started knocking doors, actually, like as soon as I started knocking doors, this is one of the first things that have come up. I think what's really important to kind of digest here, I know you've heard a lot of information. The key thing here is we're trying to make homes affordable for everyone. We're being inclusive of all different scenarios or lifestyles. So whether you're young, you're a first-time home buyer, you know, all the different levels, we're trying to be able to be inclusive of all home buyers' needs across the board. And I think that's really important.
Well, viewers, you are watching Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment. If you are involved with the real estate or mortgage business and you wish to advertise on Awaz Entertainment, you can call 1-888-786-9809 and you can get a very special advertising discount which I arrange for viewers who are watching Realty Coffee Talk. We've been doing it since March 5th, 2020, and we'll appreciate that you call and advertise. Today's program was to educate you about what Liberal Party platform regarding homeowner strategy is and how it fits the program, make things affordable. I am sure this is a political platform and definitely they will be considering professionals to help them to drive and put together this plan into motion, because right now is a political speech, but it requires a lot of efforts to put together a strategy, plan, and implementation program. So I take this opportunity to thank Rechie Valdez. She is a candidate from Mississauga, Streetsville. She is a Liberal candidate, and I hope that you can reach out to her, and if you have any question, I'm going to ask her to leave her number or campaign information. You can talk to her directly. If you have anything, question regarding real estate, feel free to call my office, 905-785-9923, or call me directly, 416-451-3489. I am a real estate broker of record for City Pro Realty and Broking. So before we end the program, I'd like you to give the contact information. Sure. If any viewers, because they may be not watching and they might call after watching the program, because this program is broadcast on Awaz Entertainment, 580 IPT, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube simultaneously. So you want to give your final message and contact information they can learn about you, and also reach out to you if they have any question.
For sure. If you want to reach us, it's info@rechievaldezliberal.ca. And also, I mean, we're seeking volunteers right now. It is campaign season, so if you have hours that you want to be able to get, you can definitely sign up for volunteer hours, and we're very happy to. And you can come visit us at 30 Thomas Street in Streetsville.
So you have any office number that you want to share with them?
Yeah, it's. I will share it afterwards. I will share it with you.
You can. Okay. Yeah. Okay. If you want to show the public, you can do that if you want.
Yeah, I will share it.
All right. Well, thank you very much. We are now ending the program. We're going to continue our conversation. Our next program, we're going to try to see we can NDP and PC party come and talk about their housing strategy for voters before they vote for you. If you have any question, please, regarding the program, you can call 647-484-0018 and you can seek out. So on behalf of Realty Coffee Talk and Awaz Entertainment, we thank our health staff, the doctors, nurses, paramedic, military forces, security, CSAS, RCMP, all Peel Region Police, for their dedication and commitment to provide protection to fellow citizens and serving them. May God bless you all. May God bless Canada. Thank you. Bye for now. We'll see you next Thursday at 7 p.m. on Awaz Entertainment. Thank you. Bye for now.